Hi everyone, my name is Roi Amior, and I'm the Chief Product Officer and Co-Founder at Anecdotes. I'm very excited to share with you our latest additions to our AI native platform. But before that, just a quick word about the approach behind it, the AI native enterprise GRC platform. The way we see it, more than AI has the potential to improve individual GRC processes, it has the potential, for the first time really, to create a truly interconnected program, one where each process is informed and impacts the other. Your controls impact your risks, which impact your policies, and so on. That way, you're truly managing a comprehensive, proactive GRC program. That is what we set out to build and what I want to show to you today. As we saw in the previous session, there are several AI native solutions on the market. What makes Anecdotes unique, though, is that our platform is the only one built on a strong foundation of automatically collected data, which is why we're able to unlock the real potential of AI for GRC, finally reaching the holy grail, real continuous monitoring. In this demo, I want to take you on the journey that gets us there. The first step of the journey to real continuous monitoring is collecting and validating evidence. So let's see how we've transformed these processes for our customers with the help of data and AI. Most of the automated evidence collection at Anecdotes is done through our more than 200 in-house built plugins. These are the most common tools on the market, and for each of them, our team of experts determines what data needs to be collected to satisfy the industry standard controls. However, in some cases, there is additional data that our customers would like to automatically collect from their tools. They could be looking for things like additional configurations, custom reports, and so on. So let's see how GRC managers can now leverage AI to collect all the data they want and save huge amounts of time. And the best part, they don't need the help of engineering or any other technical resources. They can do it all on their own. Where it comes to tools we already have a plugin with, customers can come into here and using natural language, they can specify what they want to collect. Let's take the example of Jira. We already collect a long list of evidence artifacts from Jira, but some things are unique to each organization. For example, we wouldn't collect evidence of every ticket from every project, right? So here I will specify which project and ticket type I would like to collect a population of. You don't need an API researcher. We'll just write what we're looking for, and as you can see, AI will translate it into the desired endpoint, and I'm basically done. Here, I can easily design the evidence with AI recommending the essential fields to include in the evidence from a compliance perspective. And that saves me the effort of analyzing the JSON file that the API returns. No code or API knowledge required. Once we do this, the evidence will look and behave like any other evidence in Anecdotes. For those of you who are not familiar with our evidence, this is what it looks like. We take the JSON file and turn it into an easy-to-consume format while maintaining the highest level of integrity. In this table, you can easily search, filter, and test the evidence, also using natural language. We'll come back to this a little later. So, I think it's fair to say that we have anything we need to move on to the next stop in our journey towards continuous monitoring. This is evidence testing. To do that, we first need to understand the context we're testing for. So let's set up our controls. Here as well, we give you a few options. You can choose from Anecdotes library of over 50 out-of-the-box frameworks that come all pre-mapped. Once you click Adopt, the control will automatically be populated with your evidence. But what happens if you want to use your own controls? Will you need to manually map hundreds of evidence artifacts to those controls one by one? Of course not. Let me introduce you to our automated onboarding, or AI custom frameworks, a very popular feature among our more mature customers. This allows you to import your existing frameworks and controls into Anecdotes in a matter of minutes. Here, we have a list of controls from an organization. Let's assume this is the org's internal common control framework. They can upload it here. Once it's uploaded, our AI will use the control name, description, or any other fields to suggest the most relevant requirements to connect to this control. While AI can do a lot, we think it's important to keep you in the loop. It is up to you to decide if to accept all the recommendations in bulk or go one by one. For this example, we'll accept them all. These requirements are an additional proprietary layer created by Anecdotes to cross-map evidence across controls more accurately. Instead of assuming false equivalency between similar controls in different frameworks, we created this layer which breaks down controls into specific requirements, and through it, we cross-map evidence to wherever is relevant. You can see here, for example, that this requirement is also cross-mapped to these additional controls in these frameworks. And by the way, these suggestions are available across the platform. In every control you're managing, you can get suggestions for additional requirements that might be relevant, whether you created them or they are pre-built by Anecdotes, allowing you to create a real interconnected program and to mature your controls without additional work. Now that our framework is all built out, let's go into a control. I'll choose a control that exists in virtually every standard framework and is typically very painful to gather evidence for: change management, specifically for code changes. We can start testing its effectiveness and maturity, and that's right, AI is also here to help with that. You also have the ability to accept the suggestions that will give you better visibility into your posture and increase your accuracy of your reporting. Now, it's true. You could probably ask ChatGPT to give you recommendations for improving control maturity. The big difference here is that in Anecdotes, AI runs on your data, your evidence, requirements, policies, risks. It has the right context to give the most accurate recommendations for your specific program. Remember, AI is only as smart as the data it's built on. The AI control assistant is indicating that this control is not mature enough. So what we can do is bring the evidence we created a few minutes ago. Based on the context of the control and framework, AI is now suggesting that we merge the evidence we created with another. Sometimes one dataset doesn't give you everything you need to know. For better monitoring and more insights, you will need to compare information from multiple datasets. With this feature, you can easily merge any two datasets that share a common field. And the best part is, you don't have to invent the wheel all on your own. AI suggests merges that can provide important insights into your program and posture. Here, we are going to merge two evidence artifacts: our population of merged code changes from GitHub, together with a population of corresponding tickets that we collected from Jira earlier. Our common field, in this case, is the pull request ID. The merged evidence operates like any other evidence in Anecdotes. And here as well, you have monitoring and testing capabilities that are enhanced by AI. Using natural language, you can search for anything in the evidence and easily scope it, making it easier to validate your evidence and find gaps you need to remediate. You can see that you get insights on the evidence level as well. The AI provides you with security and compliance insights about your data based on best practices and advanced research, allowing you to become proactive and more security focused. Here, for instance, the AI insights identify that some pull requests created by the same engineer lack a corresponding Jira ticket. It raises a potential risk and offers you to create a task to remediate. For our new merged evidence artifact, there are several tests that we will want to perform. An initial test would be to ensure that every single pull request performed in GitHub has a corresponding ticket within Jira. With the help of AI, it's easier than ever to set this rule using natural language. Just like this, saving a lot of time, avoiding mistakes, and making rule setting accessible to any user. Since this is a crucial part of your monitoring, here as well, we want to keep you in the loop. So AI will do the work for you, but you can simulate the test and modify it before you choose to apply it. We've also created a way to overcome one of the biggest pain points for teams, having to analyze manual evidence. For this control, for example, we've uploaded a snippet of the actual code from within GitHub. With our AI evidence reader, users get a name suggestion and summary of the manual evidence, allowing them to validate it much faster and better. And with proper naming and a summary, it is finally possible to find what you're looking for. And of course, you guessed it, this search can also be done with the help of simple natural language query. So, now we've ensured that our controls are populated with a constant flow of validated data evidence. We also know that if any gaps should arise, we will get automated notifications right away. So, we are finally ready for any GRC use case, really. For today's journey, let's continue by maturing our control environment even further. As we mentioned before, one of the biggest things that AI can help you with is creating an interconnected program. Here, you already see the AI recommendations for connecting this control to risk, and we'll come back to that in a few minutes. But as you can see, they can also be connected to policy statements. Let's take a look at how this works. Our AI Policy Guardian scans your policies for actionable statements, statements that require that action be taken or controls be implemented, and maps them to the relevant controls and evidence in your program. This policy is the change management policy. These are the same statements we saw from the control perspective before. As I said, everything is connected. What makes Anecdotes AI unique is its focus and deep GRC understanding. Our AI model is trained on hundreds of datasets and monitoring rules from the Anecdotes knowledge base, which results with a model that can accurately identify statements that reflect security practices and require continuous monitoring. As you can see, thanks to the context of your program, the Policy Guardian not only identifies the statements for you, it lets you know if they match the monitoring rules you have set in your program. This capability gives you a whole new level of visibility into your policy implementation. You can actually know if your policies are being followed, vastly increasing your control maturity. This can only be achieved thanks to the combination of AI and a strong foundation of data. With mature controls and monitored policies, it's now time to move on to the next step on our GRC journey: risk. So, how can risk be improved with data and AI? Well, there are a few ways. If you have decided to mitigate the risk, you will get suggestions for mitigating controls to link to this risk. And just like that, your risk register comes alive, and you have a real connection between your risk register and what is actually happening in your organization operations. Thanks to Anecdotes' automated risk calculation, the mitigating controls you link to a risk will have an automated impact on the residual risk level, giving you a true picture of your risk posture. Within each risk, our AI will also suggest a treatment plan based on the context of your program: risk description, source, risk assessment, your mitigating control statuses, custom fields you've added, anything, as well as best practices. In addition, once again highlighting the importance of AI with data, you will get suggestions for supporting documentation from your evidence pool. Just imagine the value your risk owners will get from having a real understanding of your current posture. So far on this journey, we have done a lot of work to mature our program. We have trusted data that is being continuously monitored, mature controls, and a living and breathing risk program. It is now time to leverage all of that hard work to build trust with customers and partners. In addition to our Trust Center that already allows you to easily share your documentation and posture with external partners, I am very excited to announce the launch of Anecdotes MCP Server, which will allow customers to leverage all of their data and work in Anecdotes for any business purpose. This will allow you to complete your AI transformation, both in the platform and outside it. Well, that brings us to the end of our GRC journey today, but not to the end of Anecdotes data and AI capabilities. We have a lot more features already in production and on the roadmap, and I'm very excited about what's coming.